Why, hello, it is I, Vondel Pete, and today with me I am drinking a Pinot Noir with my ENFP cousin from the Outback.
G'day.
And today what I thought we would do is, we may not look it, but we're quite romantic guys, I would say. And a lot of people have been leaving comments on my videos, and even though they don't say it explicitly, I think they really want love tips from this channel. I think that's...
And that fluffy dog.
There's a fluffy dog.
There's a fluffy dog. Sorry, I interrupted. Very important. You were getting that one as well. Come here, dog. Come here.
Oh, well, that's the end of that.
Yeah, come here. You're so fluffy.
Hey, dog.
You're
Quite
so
random
fluffy.
Oh, it's gone now. So let's, just to give some love tips, because you're a genuine ENFP personality type, and I myself had some run-ins with some ENFPs when I was younger.
Even the other day.
Even the other day, I had some run-ins with a lot of ENFPs. Which ones are you talking about?
Oh, the party.
At the party, there was an ENFP girl next
Yeah.
to me. That's right, there was an ENFP girl next to me.
They seem to be quiet. She seemed to have a lot more energy than I do. I mean, I guess I do have energy in my point, but I wasn't in my element. She might have been more in her element.
Yeah.
Very talkative.
There were quite a few ENFPs at this party we went to the other night.
Yeah.
I think it gets to a point with, which ENFP is going to dominate, I suppose.
Yeah, and I did not dominate.
I think maybe as a good example of, like, when I was about 23, I came back from the USA and I was chatting to this ENFP girl on a chat site. This is before dating sites really existed.
And you had to, the internet was still kind of, well,
Yeah.
it wasn't new, but it was, dating online. Tinder, what's it called? Like fast dating was not
Not a thing.
Yeah.
Not really. And so it was, I think it was Irk or Merc or something I was using, a chat site.
Yeah.
And I was chatting to this woman who I now know was an ENFP. And I'd just come back from America. I was a bit sad, and I was telling her I was tired. Because what had happened is she'd asked to hook up with me. She was chatting, and then she's like, can I have your number? Can I have your email address? So she emailed me, and she said, hey, it was nice chatting to you. We should hook up sometime, lol, and gave me her number. Said, call me. But I didn't call her because I was too nervous, and it was a bit too wild for me. It seemed a bit impulsive. I only had a quick chat with this girl online. So anyway, one day I'd gone to America, come back. I was a bit sad and lonely, and I started chatting to her on MSN. And she's like, why don't you go to sleep if you're so tired and jet lagged? And I said, oh, I can't sleep. And she's like, do you want me to sleep with you then? And I was like,
God,
yeah.
no, absolutely no.
And I said, yes.
Oh, right.
But actually, I asked her if she wants to go out for a coffee, and she says, I'd prefer to just come to your place.
Oh, well, no.
So she was quite firm of this, and I'd never really dated or anything at this point. I was still quite shy. Anyway, she does turn up at my place, and she comes into the apartment and gets on the couch with me, and then I just sort of freeze up. It was all too much for me.
You don't admire the confident.
Oh, now I would.
Yeah, okay.
But I was 23 and very inexperienced and shy.
It does get intimidating, especially when that happens, because that happens very rarely at 23. You're still learning.
Yeah, so it's just like, how can this be happening? And I know you've never met her before, and she was fairly attractive. What I sort of learned is she may have taken some substance though before turning up.
Ecstasy.
I think so, because she was sweating a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And her pupils were dilated.
Yeah.
And it was,
MD. Oh, who gives a shit about the drugs? She's on narcotics of some sort.
Yeah. So because she put her thigh up on my thigh, and then when I wasn't reacting, she looked at me like very upset and actually recoiled. And she ended up going completely the opposite direction and almost like recoiling on the couch. And as I'm talking to her, she's looking at me
like a timid dog shaking.
Well, I think, and I don't know if it was like she'd been rejected. It might have been the rejection or something that upset her, because she looked genuinely, not fearful, I guess very hurt.
Right.
But I guess, I guess what I'm getting at is she was being a bit impulsive, I thought. And that was like an early experience with what some ENFPs are like.
I mean,
not all, because I know a lot aren't like this.
You have to take do you have to take the narcotics into account into this situation, because I think a sober ENFP, they would be impulsive, but not as forward. But like when you're on that, like anything that says otherwise is like lost. You're on such a dopamine rush. Have you ever gone for a long run where the dopamine's hit? I know after a nice gym session, you get a dopamine hit, and that's usually the best time to ask me for anything, because I'll say yes.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, and so when you feel the dopamine, which is what this narcotic is probably doing, you're pretty over the moon. Right? So you're doubling more with with the ENFP-ness. You just double down on the ENFP-ness.
Right.
It's probably the worst drug for an ENFP to take because they can become absolutely hyper.
And I guess that was what was happening
Yeah.
because anyway, once she stopped being kind of nervous with me, we started just talking about our lives and we just got on very well.
Oh,
I
and
guess
that worked. And that would also work because they just want also just the emotional chat as well.
Yeah, and she seemed quite happy with that. And we talked for about an hour, and I remember it was very pleasant. An interaction I wouldn't usually have with a girl, which was so comfortable and so much laughter.
Yeah.
So then that was a big turnaround. But then my brother came home because I was living with my brother at the time, and he's an ESTJ. And I introduced this random girl to my brother, and my brother started talking about how he's got this idea for the house. I think what happened was he said he doesn't want to flush toilets. He just wants one switch at the front door that flushes all the toilets at once. He's like, why can't we do that? My ESTJ brother said.
In a way, I haven't heard something so genius, so silly
Oh, really?
at the same time.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this girl just said to him, that sounds fucking stupid.
Well,
That's what she said to him.
it's almost geniusly silly.
I guess so. I wasn't
I wouldn't call it
completely against
stupid. Yeah, I would like. I mean,
Yeah.
I like the idea, but I mean, if you took it from a water saving world,
Yeah. Maybe.
that's almost great in terms of like you flush once, does all the toilets
And then everyone has to just put up with the dirty toilets.
until you leave or enter the house.
Well, she didn't take kindly. Like, I mean, she might have just been again affected by narcotics, but she's like, "That's a fucking stupid idea."
Oh, yeah, it could be that, and it could also be the fact that your brother could have been quite, intruding on something, and it's like, hey, I was just enjoying this moment. Now we've got this new dynamic because somebody else has walked.
Oh, maybe she was. You reckon she was upset at that?
Yeah, the new dynamic. There could have been a bit of that.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't rule it out completely.
No.
But I mean, yeah.
And he said, "Hang on, don't tell me what to do in my own house." And there was a little bit of tension between them. Yeah, and he left, and then she had to go to work. She actually was working in a supermarket, and she only had a very short amount of time to come over to my place. And she complained that we didn't have sex, that she left. And he's like, oh, we didn't get to have sex. And I said, oh, yeah, sorry.
Sorry, you apologized. You said
apologized.
sorry.
Yeah. I apologized, and she said, that's okay, this always happens to me.
All right, no, well, it's just playing a victim.
Yeah.
You apologized. You apologized to this.
Yeah,
Is it good to apologize during... Actually, that's the next question.
That's the next question. Is it good to apologize if you've disappointed someone like that?
I apologize beforehand.
You apologize beforehand
Yeah, I always go sorry about that.
to lower the expectation.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah.
This girl went on to be we had quite a difficult time after this event.
Mm-hmm.
So when she's leaving, she's like seeing the apartment I'm staying in and all the bushes, and she starts leaping up and down in joy. Like, this is so beautiful. I love this. This is great. She's just really excited by
The nice Melbourne bush.
the bushes, the trees, the flowers in the area. She just loved it all.
Well, I guess it is nice.
She started jumping up and down in glee. Again, narcotics, I guess.
Yeah.
And she
I
said,
mean, okay, you have to think of narcotics as it's like an extension of one person, because just imagine everything becomes a much more exaggerated if you take the right drug. In this case, you're giving it to like an extroverted person like an ENFP, and you're giving a amphetamine, which will push that really forward.
so she liked the flowers, but now she really likes
Yeah,
them.
she liked them and would comment on them, but now, yeah, really like it because you're just like, yeah.
And then around that time, I started dating this INFP Japanese girl, and she would see us on the streets, and then she would comment to me that I saw you the other day. You look so cute. And then she started giving dating advice. So she's like,
What advice did she give?
she was because this shy INFP Japanese girl I was dating was taking things very slowly, as I wanted to do, but I didn't realize at that time that that's okay.
Yeah.
And this is the girl that told me that no, it's good to take your time. Even a month or two is okay.
Yeah.
If you're just like dating and nothing's happening. She's like, that's good. She's like, just keep doing
That's
it.
fine, yeah.
And that was actually good to hear.
Mm.
So I started asking her all the time for dating advice, and she was like, I'll take her here, take her there. She'd call her Chan at the end. She was trying to give me Japanese phrases to use. She got really invested in like this relationship I'm getting into.
I actually did that.
Yeah, well, what happened was once I was about to go to Alice Springs with this INFP girl.
Ah, yes.
So then she snaps and she's like, I'm sick to death of hearing about her. All you talk about is her. And she got very upset. And fair enough, I would have been just going on and on, oblivious to the fact that it's like, oh, you were supposed to meet up with this girl and now you're just talking about another girl to her all the time. It's not very good.
It's not a really good move in a dating world.
No.
I don't think women like you talking about other women.
Especially after you've just had them over, chatted to them a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't
Women
like
that,
yeah, I'm sure, like, if I went to my girlfriend and I started talking about other girls that I'm hanging out with,
Or if you're dating another girl.
Yeah, well, that's even worse. That's even worse, isn't it? I mean, I've never been there because I've barely enough energy for
But I
not
felt
energy.
justified because I found out this ENFP girl had a boyfriend the whole time.
Oh, for fuck. Okay,
So I
right.
thought, well,
Okay, right.
why
So
am I?
this is all right.
But
So
she didn't tell me.
this is no. This is. I mean, this is a weird situation, and I mean, people
Mm.
may find themselves. It seems common enough that people would find themselves in it, but this is also not normal, Peter.
It's not normal. Well, you know what happened? So I chatted to her once or twice over the years, but then eventually, like, we'd see each other at bars and ignore each other.
Mm-hmm.
But what happened was, because I used to go on about things to all my friends and overshare all the time and talk about this INFP girl for years and years to my friend,
Now you've got the YouTube to overshare.
and now I've got this to overshare. And I was telling my friend Michael about this, and he was laughing about 5 years later. 5 years later, he's got this lonely friend, right? I don't know his personality type, but he's got this lonely friend who was always a bit unlucky in love and meeting girls and dating sites. And this friend of Michael's started chatting to this ENFP on a dating site. This is like 5 years later.
Small world, isn't it?
Yeah, small world. And Michael's like, how do they know the connection that I even know this person? Because I'm not on social media with her. What happened was this girl somehow mentioned me to Michael's friend
Right.
and made it about me, which
whole
confused Michael's friend. Yeah, she said, I don't like this guy Peter. He just talks about his ex-girlfriend and mentions the name of his ex.
But this is 4 years later.
Yeah, so she's talking about it all those years later, and Michael's laughing, saying, that's how bad you were, Peter. That's how much you scar women. And it was so weird, and he was laughing his head off, and I pressed Michael on this only recently to give a bit more context. Like, why was I brought up? Your friend is not my friend. Why are they talking about me in on a conversation and on a dating app? And it's because he had shared Peter and Mikey, that old show I used to do with Mikey. And he was like, my friend does this funny YouTube thing and links it to her. And so she sees my old YouTube channel. And she's like, I know that guy. I don't like him. All he does is talk about his ex-Japanese girlfriend. And
Can you imagine that? Can you imagine it from her end? Like 5 years onward, you're in Melbourne, like one of the most populated places in Australia, where you're bound to like bump into one person and never bump into him again. And she goes about her life for 5 years, and then just suddenly, oh, there he is. It's some random has now shared a video with you in it. You just can't escape.
it's so weird.
It's so weird how the world works like that.
At the same time, I was at a film screening with Swinburne's. I was at a film screening because I used to study film and I dropped out. And I went along to a film screening, and this guy in a beard with a posh accent approached me. I'd never seen him before in my life. And he goes, excuse me. It wasn't exactly like that. That's how it sounded to me. He goes, excuse me, is your name Peter? I was like, yes, I am Peter. He's like, do you know this girl? And then he mentions her name.
The ENFP.
Yeah.
Right.
And I go, yeah, I know her. How do you know her? Oh, I worked with her at the supermarket. Everyone knows about you. So I think that was a bit shocking. And of course,
Like you didn't put on your YouTube persona. You in the real world is quite shy, and
yeah,
I'm the one that has to like come out and have the conversations with people
in the real world.
in the real world. Yeah.
Um,
In this world, you're dominating, but I mean, it's your channel.
yeah, this is the only place I can dominate.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, it's yours. You've got the control. In fact, the editing floor, you'll just cut this all out.
I'll cut all this out.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
not watching this right now.
Yeah.
But it was interesting because, so I think it made me realize that ENFPs are, like, who would get so hung up for that long? INFPs. INFPs can be hung up on a past relationship for a very long
You've
time.
told me the same stories about some friends a lot. That I know them like the back of my hand now.
Yeah.
Yes.
You mean the main one I've talked about in the last year? Or
Oh, well, I mean, there's that one. That was a news story. But no, I'm talking about like 8 years ago when we lived together.
yeah.
Yeah, there's some of the stories you were telling back then you're telling now.
So, these are you mean because I'm going on about it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, that ENFP, you know her, right? You remember her? You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know, but I'm not going to say. But yeah, I know who you're talking about. I didn't realize that was her, but yeah.
After all that stuff where these random guys on dating apps are talking about me,
Yeah.
and all of that, and she can't escape me. Then you and I moved to the neighborhood where a supermarket is.
And we bumped in.
And she was not happy seeing me. She was frowning.
Maybe I should have talked to her. Try to see if I could smooth things over.
As a fellow ENFP, maybe you could have gotten through to her. I don't know why I'm trying to get through to her.
I think I don't know. It just so happened to bump into her. It's just weird. Like out of all the Melbourne, 6 million people, and you just keep bumping into the same 5.
I had this experience with an ENFP as well, and the same crap happened. I went out for a drink with her. We got on really well, but then she invites me to a party. I don't turn up. She sleeps with some other guy, tells me she slept with him. I get hurt. I stop talking to her. She asks if we want to still be friends. I say sure. We don't talk for a while. Then she starts reading Bukowski and says that the main character reminds her of me, which is an indirect way.
The drunk.
Yeah, and then, well, she said like no emotions, cold and detached, floats from job to job.
Well, I know you, and I know that you're not very much not like a Bukowski character.
But that's the thing, and why is why is this ENFP saying that? Maybe because I'm a bit more introverted than her, but she's sensing a connection.
Well, it's probably because you didn't connect,
Well,
and so then
we
you
had a
probably
nice chat though.
And yeah, well, that's weird.
We had a nice-
Guess she's not seeing the positive; she's just kind of seeing the negative. Because you uncomfortable would be very retreat, and you might come off as cold.
This girl I met on a dating site a few years later,
Yeah.
and we ended up meeting up in Japan.
Yes, like the Buck Owens song.
Is that a Buck Owens song?
Yeah, Made in Japan. It's a good song. Anyway.
Yeah, and I meet her in Japan, same deal. We get drunk together, we get on really well. There's a lot to talk about with INFPs and ENFPs because you're always riffing on ideas.
Yeah, and you
and
keep
stuff.
going.
And we
Sorry, I'll just interrupt you, but there's magpies. That's why I was looking off.
Yeah, but
That's a good thing.
Are they in shot?
They're not in shot, but some people are going to see me looking off, and I'll be like, "There's some magpies there. One's really dirty, and one looks really clean." Magpies are a beautiful bird. Sorry, keep going.
So we hang out and we go all around Japan together, staying in the same room, and it's all just platonic. We're just friends.
Yeah,
Nothing going on.
because you're just talking about things, and I guess you're both okay with that.
And it's just fun. And I was doing that, and we had a lot of fun just chatting, going out, drinking. It was a fantastic time. But I guess feelings can emerge when you don't want them to, maybe. And I remember even when she left, I was like, why is she upset at me? And then she left, I did feel a bit of heartbreak. It was like, maybe I liked her and I was hiding it or something. It was,
I feel that's a bit of you going a bit. Well, that's you getting confronted. Somebody suddenly now being somewhat confronting, and you know that's going to cause you trouble. I reckon that's kind of causing you a bit of anxiety there.
Yeah.
This is me analysing.
What do you reckon? Like, this is like, now she's left. This is like...
But she's being cold. And
yeah, she's being cold.
And it's that. And now you've got that, have I done something wrong?
Yeah.
And that's what you're more worried about more than the thing. So you probably liked them as a friend, but you just thought you were doing the right thing. And somebody goes, no, you're wrong. If I turned around to you and I just suddenly said, right now that you're doing something wrong, you'd probably get a little bit nervous as well.
Yeah, I would.
Because it's more, you're more worried about stuffing up than you are about... Then you about that thing. You obviously didn't, because you haven't mentioned this the whole time, and you haven't mentioned this the whole time, and you haven't mentioned that. So you're only thinking that afterwards, because I guess what are you, 23, still on
this is at 28. Yeah, no, you're that age that I was around then. But
yeah, I'll drink to that.
I did feel a bit hurt that she was gone.
Right, I'm drinking all your wine.
That's all right.
Yeah, and you can't drink because you have to try.
You silly bugger.
Sorry.
Well, what happened with her? Then I move in with you about 2 years later.
Yeah.
Or no, 1 year.
1 year later.
1 year later, I move in with you.
Yes, 8 years ago.
And I go to a party that she invites me to, and we're getting on. And once I get to the party, she's a bit nervous, and she hugs me, and she's like, "I can't believe we travelled together for a whole week and nothing happened between us."
That ENFP.
Yeah, that ENFP.
Yeah.
The one from Queensland. And she's like, "I
Queensland's
can't
a
believe
great place. Go to Queensland. I've never been there. Oh no, I have been. Sorry.
in the north
it's a great place.
Australia.
It's a great
It's
place.
like the Texas of Australia.
No, it's more like the Florida.
The Florida of Australia. That suits. Yeah, and then she's like, "I can't believe nothing happened between us." And I was like, "Yeah." I thought that's awkward, but I did like seeing her again. I was like, "Oh, it's that nice girl. She's quite good looking and has a very positive vibe to her."
So you enjoyed being around them?
I enjoyed being around her.
I mean, yeah.
And that was the first thing, like when I saw her in Japan, every time I saw her, it was just like this warm energy, like the big hug.
It's such a weird thing. I had this discussion with a friend of mine.
Yeah.
Actually, we said this. I think I was commenting on, like, you know, there are people that go into bands and suddenly, when they get somewhat of mild popularity, they just end up like being a predator to some women. And it's just like, do you know, and I think I went on a long rant, I started yelling, and I was like, do you know how easy it is to not have sex? I'm constantly not having sex. I'm constantly going out of my way to not have sex. Do you know how easy it is to do nothing at all? It's great. It's great to do nothing because it doesn't take any energy at all, and it's great. You know what also? No, actually, I can't give real advice because no one would listen. If you say be yourself, if you say be yourself in something, nobody fucking takes that one seriously. So you go do nothing. Do absolutely nothing. Go out of your way to try nothing.
I guess that's a good way to end this
know.
video in a way. I mean, do
So we-
nothing. I mean, the end of that story, because I never talked to her again, she just ends up avoiding me at the whole party. I brought my INFP friend Lionel with me, so we're awkwardly at this house party.
Very smart fellow.
But yeah, and she just avoided me, but she'd go to the bathroom, she got really drunk, and she would just yell my name, but like in a mocking way, Peter Van Dort! And then her friends,
Smelly Alan Partridge.
like that, and her friends would laugh.
Smelly Peter Van Dort.
But if I walked past her, she'd avoid eye contact. And then she just ended up throwing up and I left.
I'm just watching the camera.
Yeah, I've got to leave soon.
Yeah, so maybe, yeah, that's what I'm
Well, I'm
thinking.
drinking as well. Anyway, I'll just finish the video.
All right. What did we learn, Peter?
So what we've learnt is, these are just some stories basically of my life. And I just wanted to...
Well, this is your YouTube channel, right? This is what you do, right?
Yeah, this is what I do.
Okay, all right. And
It's talking about my life.
I mean, and what did I bring to it? What did I bring to the table? I just brought like the ability for you to just do it because you've got somebody there in the room. Usually it's you alone with the camera, right? So of course it's a lot harder to get these stories out. But the fact that I'm here, it's just made it easy, regardless of what I say.
Makes it easier, and you've got a lot to... You've got comments to make, you know, you don't freeze up that well. You know, you've got...
I freeze up in this situation because it's not a bit, I guess. I don't know, like I need to figure out the bit.
Anyway, I've been Vondelpete. It's my ENFP cousin. Oh, yeah.
Arrivederci.
Arrivederci and sayonara.
Here's to strawberry jam
we
and all the
finish
different varieties. It's right there. We are the Village Green Preservation Society.
Do you think it's worth doing the whole thing again really quick?
No, I think
Do you think that works?
No, I don't think that worked either. But I don't know if doing it quick's going to fix anything because I don't know what the hell that was about.